And then we always talk about why we're doing office hours, and that's just so that you can be thinking in your head too. What is your why for why you're attending today? But we know that using assistive and instructional technologies are one of the high leverage practices cited by the Council for Exceptional Children. Those things that make the biggest impact in student learning for especially for students with disabilities. Then we also know that using the SET framework as we think through assistive technology, that is looking at the student, their strengths and needs, desires, and the environments where they're going to be doing these things, the tasks that we want a student to be able to do that they're interested in doing. And then we overlay the tools on top of that to look at what tools in assistive technology might be supportive. It's a great tool for equity in helping to support each student get exactly what it is that they need. So then I am going to turn it over to Tina and let her introduce herself. And she's going to take over on the slideshow and presenting because she's got some great stuff to present today. So thanks, Tina, for being here.
All right, I'm going to present here. Okay, is it on there?
Yep, and maybe if you want to put it in presentation mode, it might be a little easier for us to see.
Okay, how? Oh, up above?
Up where it says slideshow, sometimes if you pick the drop down and go to presenter mode, or if you just click slideshow, it should go right into it.
And where is that again?
In the upper right-hand corner near where you would share.
Oh, it says stop presenting
Do you
on the
see
slideshow.
on the slideshow? Yep, on that page
Okay,
there.
it says
Yep.
share.
So to the left of that, it says slideshow. So
Oh,
if you click on
quit.
slideshow or presenter view, there you
Got
go.
it.
And then if a pop-up popped up, you can close that right out.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, and then how can I activate it then? I haven't done this before.
Sure. So then from Google Meet, you should have a little box at the bottom that is showing your slide numbers, and you can just click either to the right or click on the number and it should go to the next one. Or if you are looking within the slides, if you have that tab open, then you can just do that as you normally would within a slideshow.
Yeah, it shows presentation. Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, there
Um,
we go. Got it.
got it? Okay,
Yep.
great.
All right. This is all new to me.
No worries. And if at any point you need me to present anything or whatever,
Okay,
you just let me know.
I got it now, I think, hopefully. All right. I'm Tina Olson. I'm the teacher for the physically impaired through the Northern Lights Special Ed Co-op. And I actually learned about Tarheel reader and gameplay at the Charting the Seas conference in April when I attended there. So this is just an overview. I'll go into the website and show some things of how to work it out. The first thing is when you use Tar Heel Reader, um, you get a password from the company from North Carolina University, and it is actually I love to read, all caps with an exclamation point. And they're willing to give it out freely. They just don't want it like all over the web. So they just ask that, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so let's see. So Tar Heel shared reader and gameplay, just some benefits from the workshop I went to. They used it for read alouds. It just prompts communications with partner, emphasizes turn taking, simple text, built-in switch access, and promotes more, which promotes prompts for more or things so that students will use the switch to keep the um, video going, or they'll stop the video and then you say more, then they'll do the switch access. And it's encouraging them to initiate that switch access. And they can also use it to turn pages. Then this is the website that you can go to for the gameplay. Now, I probably have to go to the slideshow.
Yep, and then it might pop up on your next tab and it'll say share this tab instead. So if you click on
So
that,
are
it
you
should share
seeing
that
this where
tab.
it says find a game?
Nope, not yet. At the top of that window, or sorry, that tab, is it
Share. Yep.
showing share this tab? There, now we can see it. Great.
Okay, perfect. So then you're going to go into this find a gameplay. And I already am logged in. So that's why I could go right to that. And then there's a bunch of games here that you can play. This is just an example of one.
Five little ducks went out one day.
Five go out.
So then you could have the student use their switch to hit
Over the
button
hill
there.
and far away.
Did that work that way or did you not see it?
Yeah, that looked great.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure. So then I'm trying to figure out how to go back. There we go. So yeah, there's a bunch of games here that you can play, or books, different stories that you can pick from. And those are already set up so that you don't have to add in that, 5 go out or more to the switch. So I'm going to stop sharing that. Oh, did I want to go back? I want to go back and show how to create one. I gotta.
Yeah, so I think you'll have to go back into the sharing settings down at
Yep.
the bottom of the screen. Got it. Great.
It's not at the bottom. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. I just mean at the bottom of the Google Meet where you have to go to present now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you're ready.
Oh gosh, there's too many tabs here, Julie.
That's the story of my life, Tina.
Okay, we're gonna go to this one here. Did it share?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I got too many things. So on this one, I went to the create a game, and I already have a YouTube video already saved in here, and you can pick anything. Like this one is just fish playing around, and you just you hit the load button, and then down here you can put 10-second pause. I'm going to enter more turtles, or you could just say more. And I had to play around with the numbers here, so it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. And then you can hit play.
More turtles.
And then they can use their switch. Then it'll play.
Can you share
And
that
then,
tab with us, Tina? I think we
yep.
aren't seeing the new tab.
Oh, okay, here it is. Yep. Thank you. You see it now?
Yep, looks great.
It's got off YouTube, and then every so often it'll come up and say, more turtles or more fish, whatever you want it to say. So I might have done the time wrong. It took me a while to figure out how to do the time in seconds. So I have to play around with that a little bit more. I kind of wrote my stuff down, but it seems like every 10 seconds, it should come up and say more turtles. And then they can hit that switch and you can change that to the time. So that was a little tricky just to play around with in that area. But you could take videos of your students or of the student, and they could be doing some activity, and you could have it do every 30 seconds, and they could hit the switch and you could have it say whatever they want. So it's kind of really, you can create whatever you want for that piece of it. So then I'm going to go back and present to this. Okay. I'll go back to the Google. So and so then to be able to use your switch with the computer, these are the things that you would need. So you would need a switch interface, and then you would need a switch. You can use a wireless switch or one that plugs in right to that interface. And if you're doing a wireless switch, which is the Jelly Beamer transmitter, and then the switch receiver, you need the receiver because that goes with the wireless transmitter. If you're just doing a switch that you plug into the interface, you don't need the receiver and the switch, the wireless switch or transmitter it's called, but it's just a wireless switch. So those are some links that you can go in and see what they are and what you need to be able to do that switch. So like the interface, switch interface just goes into your computer like you would put where you would put your mouse. And then they just click right into that interface. Let's see if I can at least show the interface one, because it's an old school, but this is the Hitch 2. Can you see that on here? Let's see. The Hitch 2. This is a newer one. There is a Don Johnson one that's a little smaller, but I kind of like this Hitch 2 one. It's a little easier to see, and you can tell what each area you want them to click. Sometimes you can click the arrow, the enter. So there would be little lights that come up so you know which switch is activating which button on your computer. And I believe you can have up to 4 switches connected to that. So yeah, that's the important part that you need, and then you hook your switch right to that. And then Tarheel Reader is the next part of it. It's all linked together. And so this is Tarheel Reader, and these are where the books are. And the same thing, you can find a book, and then you can make your own book. I did not do the making your own book yet. So you can just click on find your book. They have a bunch of books already made that you can do. Let's see here.
Alphabet.
Here's an alphabet one. I click out. I have too many things open. And then they could hit that next
Apple.
button with the switch.
C bear. C crocodile.
Just nice
C
and simple.
dog.
or this one. Let's see if I can go back.
C crocodile. B bear. A apple. Alphabet.
So there is, yeah, there's just a bunch of books you could use, and this you can also use with this interface switch and switches to activate those books. And if you go back to where it says write a book, see if it's going to let me log in. And then, so here where you can write your own book, you can upload pictures. And you can pick from your own library you want. And I think there's other ones you can. So those are your own pictures. And then there is where you can search for images. And then you can fill in the blanks, make your own title. There's a bunch of things where you can make your own. I haven't played around with this part. This is a little bit newer to me, and it's going to take a little bit more time to learn on your own. But just a lot of nice options. And then these are just some YouTube videos about Tarheel Reader and gameplay and how to activate it that might be helpful to you when you're looking at it. It kind of helped for me to go back and get ideas. Can you see that or not? There. Just easier step-by-step of how to use it. And then any questions?
I have a comment. I just clicked on one of the books just to kind of see what some of the other ones looked like, and the first one I came across, the little button that popped up just said keep reading. And so just for a kid who you're trying to get motivated to like use their Switch, it was a funny story about a fart. So, you know, all kids probably will want to know what that story is, what's going to happen in that story, and they want to keep reading. They'd have to keep the story going. They have to click the button. So I thought that was a cool way to keep kids engaged and learning to use their Switch.
Yeah, and you could do with partners, like partner reading. And so someone else could encourage them, or even they could read the book to them, and you know, they could hit the switch to the next page. I think there's just a lot of opportunity. Is just so much you could do with that with students to get them motivated to use that switch.
Yeah, and I like to in the shared reader piece, just like how you can search for different books. I think sometimes we think these activities are for just very much younger students, and while they are at a pretty simple level, if you search in levels, you know, it goes up through 12th grade. So there's some things that are much more engaging for older students, you know, so that those things are sometimes a little harder to find, or those age appropriate items that are still simple to access. And so I think it's really nice. That's one of the nicest things I think about the Tar Heel Reader options. So, and the same would go for the gameplay, where you've got videos that are probably for a wide range as well.
Hey, Tina.
Yep.
So on making a video, that's something we could do. Like I could make videos of actual adults or kids in my class and then use those to reinforce skills like using the bathroom, closing the door behind you,
Yep.
shredding, things like that, going to class. Okay. So that I could use it like that.
You could. Yep.
Okay.
But like we had talked, Julie and I talked before, if you're using students, you probably want a release.
Okay.
From parents, if you're using like a picture of another child and other children are going to be watching it.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's what I would think. just to make sure that someone doesn't go in the community and say, "Oh, my daughter saw you on how to cook
Right.
in class," just so that you could cover yourself so that they understand you're using them as a teaching tool.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks.
But I think that would really motivate students to see themselves, even walking through the lunch line or whatever it may be.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe show them themselves doing something and then let
Mhm.
them watch it to reinforce that skill.
All right. Any other questions or ideas too of how to use this? Feel free to unmute yourselves or type anything in the chat window.
Tina, do you know anyone that's used it with an iPad?
No, I have not. I don't.
I do. I have a kid that used it with an
Oh,
iPad to recite his poem to an audience.
And it worked well?
Yep, we found a YouTube video that was a reciting of the poem, and then we just put in the seconds of when we wanted the prompts, and our prompt just said go. And so then anytime it go came up, he just clicked his switch and it continued with the poem.
So what switch did you use?
Just a standard switch with the interface. We just like the USB connector. We had to get the adapter for it.
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So just look and get an adapter for the iPad.
Okay.
Great example. I love when we're crowdsourcing this information. It makes me
Mhm.
really happy. All right. What else?
And I think that poem was like a presentation in front of the class, correct, Ashley?
Yeah, it was in front of family and friends. I was in their auditorium, and then at the end it was a poem about bubbles. And then at the end we had the switch activated bubble blower that he hit, and then bubbles went all over the stage.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That's so good. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Anything else? I'll go ahead and stop the recording now.